that you have worked in a lot of industries, that are different industries. So how easy or how difficult was it when you were choosing those industries? As in your work, you said for liquor industry, then you work for pets food and I'm so sorry, PNG, and then you even work for other industries as such. How did that switch happen? Was it planned or was it just?
See, from Gillette to Philips was planned. Basically, there's some HR policies changed in Gillette because there was a merger thing happening on with PNG, and it became compulsory for all the trainees to spend 4 years in sales before moving to marketing. So that was planned. Philips to DIG also was planned. Rest everything became unplanned. I quit DIG because I wanted to study. And when I came back, and my father was in Bombay, so I had to join back in Bombay, which was DIG. Post that, it's been more or less planned in the way that I wanted to move away from FMCG. They have a certain benefit to growth. As I said, the words of Mizi, Prime Minister, I have nothing else to take from them. They have enriched me for whatever I learned from them. But the fact is that there's life beyond FMCG as well. There are many industries which are coming up, and there are many brands, many products which are enriching the lives of people in a far different way. So I thought it's better for me to move out. And moreover, this whole consumption-driven development model, driving satisfaction out of more and more consumption, I don't think it's sustainable. We need to put a break somewhere. How many iPads you can have? What next? How many mobile phones you can have?
But more of these consumption-driven activities, there is a greater degree of aspiration attached to it. And even if I'm having an iPad, so somewhere it starts with an aspiration. So how do we put a limit? Aspirations have no limits.
Aspirations have no limit, but you are forgetting that ultimately it was acquired because it has certain convenience value. It had something to offer. The need behind the need is two. One is status. I look nice with an iPad. But there's another need which is convenience. It provides me convenience. Earlier I used to carry a laptop which was 2.5 kg. Today I just carry 600 gram iPad. So it's convenience driven. So that part of aspiration is only status driven. Out of the 6 archetypes, first is status. Status is what the leader. Then you move towards independence. Independence is the rebel. People like me, you. And the third is the release. Release is more fun, high energy. Then it's affiliation. Affiliation is friendship. It's about how you move into life. Then it comes to contentment. Contentment is I'm satisfied with life. Then it discernment, that I understand what I'm doing. It's class, it's suave, it's sophisticated, but it's subtle. Which of the 6 archetypes you want to fit yourself in? It will depend. Our system has always been about contentment. It does not mean that you do not consume. It means that you understand, you have the intellectual prowess to understand that consumption-led happiness has its limit. That's the way I feel. That was the reason I moved out. I thought, how many TVs I'll sell, how many radios I'll sell, or how many bulbs we'll put. Some other form, some other form. So there needs to be a limit.
So across all these diverse industries you've worked in, where has your experience been the most enriching?
I have learnt a lot actually in sports. Since I joined IPL, first with Kings 11, now with Chennai Super Kings. Sports teaches many things. Sports teaches you humility. Sports teaches you how to manage conflicts. Sports build character. Extremely important. You learn how to give and take. When people say teamwork, when I used to play basketball for school, whenever coach will say, "Oh, Bond, be a team player," I understood that he's going to bench me today. That's what you understand. You learn life from sports. So this has been the most enriching in terms of understanding that there's life beyond consumption. It's about happiness. So I have seen players, I don't want to name them, but who come from villages, they have never taken a flight before they started playing cricket. They took the first train when they were selected for Ranji Trophy. They never had any road to their village before they started playing cricket. So a road had to be built because media was pressurizing the chief minister, we can't go to his house. It is transformed. Truly, I personally say cricket is the most democratic thing that has happened to this country. It has transformed. It's everywhere. People say, you know, there's movies and there's cricket. Trust me, there are people who have not seen a single movie, but I can assure you they've seen games either or heard games. So it is democratic, it is open, and it is allowing opportunities to people from far-flung places, people like Umesh, people like Ravindra Jadeja, people like Munaf Patel. They're not Bombay boys, they are coming from rural India. So it's transforming India. And personally, when I speak to these people, I really laugh at myself, you know, that I've been talking all this brand and all. Look at these people. They have all the money in the world. And how simple they are. It has been extremely enriching. It has taught me many things. Most of all, it has taught me the value of collaboration, as I said. I always spent money on advertising. For the first time I learned and I understood and I innovated that I can collaborate without spending money, I can still advertise. So today, any sponsor, if he wants to advertise, Airtel wants to do a TV ad and he wants to use a Chennai Super Kings logo or a Dhoni or XYZ, he'll submit the script to me. He'll approve the script. So my brand is on TV. I hardly spend anything from my pocket, but the cumulative spends on Chennai Super Kings is more than 70 crores by all the sponsors put together. This is what it is talking. FMCGs are arrogant. They have money. They have old brands.